You want to be wealthy and happy? Let me tell you something that can change your life. There comes a time when your heart grows tired of empty promises, of chasing after things that never satisfy. You've worked hard, you've worried much, but still peace feels far away and wealth seems out of reach. Deep down, you know you were made for more. Not just money in your hands, but joy in your soul. Not just success on the outside, but peace that calms your night. People often run after riches and lose themselves along the way. They seek happiness but find it slipping through their fingers. True wealth and true happiness are not found in the things of this world alone. They are born when your heart is anchored in faith, gratitude, and purpose. Money without peace is torment. Happiness without stability feels fragile. But when wealth and joy unite, life becomes a light to others, proof that greater days are possible. You were not created to live broken or defeated. You were created to flourish, to prosper, to rise, and today you hold the power to choose that path. Wealth is not measured by the numbers written in a bank account, but by the treasures planted within your soul. A person with peace in their heart, gratitude in their spirit, and vision for their future is already wealthy even before a single dollar arrives. You can give two people the same amount of money, one who carries bitterness, fear, and greed, and another who carries hope, faith, and love, and you will see two completely different results. The first will lose what they have because their heart is empty, but the second will multiply what they are given because their heart is full. Money cannot teach you how to live. Only your inner values can. Wealth begins in the unseen places, in the way you treat people, in the joy you carry even in storms, and in the dreams you refuse to let die. When your heart is rich with character, vision, and gratitude, it attracts opportunities, relationships, and blessings that money alone can never buy. True prosperity is born inside, and everything external is simply a reflection of the abundance already alive within. I once knew of a man who grew up in poverty, surrounded by lack and limitation. He lived in a small town where every opportunity seemed closed, and people told him he would never rise beyond what his family had. He started with nothing but a dream, and yet he carried something greater than money. He carried an unshakable belief that he could build a better future. He swept floors in the morning and studied late at night, but never let his heart grow bitter. He practiced gratitude every day, thanking God for even the smallest things, the roof over his head, the strength to work, the ability to learn. Over the years, his vision became reality. He built a business, blessed others through his success, and lifted his entire family out of poverty. What made the difference? It wasn't the little money he started with, it was the wealth in his heart. His gratitude, perseverance, and faith turned nothing into something. The truth is, life tests us not with abundance first, but with scarcity. Many people wait for money to feel blessed, but wealth begins long before riches appear. If you cannot be grateful when you have little, you will never be satisfied when you have much. Gratitude transforms lack into abundance. It shifts your perspective from, "I don't have enough," to "I am blessed already." And when you live with that heart posture, doors open. Opportunities that others miss will shine before you, because your spirit is tuned to see them. The wealth of the heart is also generosity. Even when you don't have plenty, the ability to give, to encourage, to uplift someone else. This is the seed of true prosperity. Many who seem poor by the world's standards are richer than kings because their spirit overflows with love, hope, and compassion. That is wealth no bank can ever contain. Vision is another currency of the heart. Without vision, even the richest pockets can grow empty, because money without direction quickly disappears. But when your heart carries a clear vision, resources will flow to meet it. Wealthy hearts see beyond their current situation. They live today while planning for tomorrow. They do not waste blessings, but they invest them into purpose. A person with vision can take little and make it much, because they see potential in every opportunity. Vision is the spark that transforms ideas into action, action into success, and success into legacy. When your heart is full of vision, you begin to attract provision. People are drawn to those who know where they are going. Destiny seems to align itself with those who believe in their calling. Wealth begins in the heart, and vision is the compass that guides it. Lastly, faith is the unshakable foundation of a wealthy heart. Money can vanish overnight, circumstances can shift in a moment, but faith sustains you when everything else seems unstable. Faith tells you there is more ahead than what I see now. It gives you courage to rise again when you fall, strength to keep going when resources are small, and peace to wait when answers are delayed. Faith-rich people are never truly poor because they carry within them a well that never runs dry. They see beyond limits and believe for greater things even when others say it is impossible. This kind of wealth is contagious. It inspires families, changes communities, and leaves legacies. Faith fuels perseverance, and perseverance builds success. And all of it begins not with money in the pocket, but with abundance in the heart. Happiness is not hidden in the glitter of possessions, nor in the weight of wealth stored in vaults, but in the quiet calm of a heart at peace. Many chase after things, believing that the next purchase, the bigger house, the faster car, or the fatter wallet will finally fill the emptiness inside. Yet how many have reached the top of success only to find themselves lonelier than ever? Peace, not possessions, is what makes a person truly happy. Peace allows you to rest at night without fear, to wake in the morning with gratitude, and to face the storms of life with calm assurance. Happiness flows when your heart is free from envy, free from comparison, and free from the endless cycle of more, more, more. True joy is not found in what you own, but in who you are becoming. There was once a woman who lived in a small, humble house with very little to her name. She didn't own the latest things, her clothes were simple, and her meals were modest. But when you stepped into her home, you felt a warmth and joy that money could never buy. She greeted everyone with kindness, her laughter filled the room, and her peace was unshakable. Neighbors often wondered how she could be so happy while having so little. She once said, "I may not have much in my hands, but my heart is full and my spirit is free." Years later, when she passed away, her memory lived on far more powerfully than that of wealthy men in the same town. Her life was proof that happiness is born from peace, not possessions. Peace is the soil where happiness grows. When your soul is at peace, even the smallest blessings become treasures. A simple meal tastes like a feast, a quiet walk feels like a celebration, and the smile of a loved one is richer than gold. Possessions may bring temporary joy, but they often demand more. More maintenance, more worry, more stress. Peace, on the other hand, multiplies joy without demanding anything in return. It steadies your emotions, clears your mind, and strengthens your spirit. Peace is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of calm in the midst of it. And when you learn to value peace above possessions, you unlock a happiness that no loss, no storm, and no lack can ever take away from you. Possessions will always fade, break, or be replaced. What once excited you will eventually lose its shine, and what once felt new will one day feel ordinary. But peace has no expiration date. It is timeless and priceless. Many people spend their whole lives working to collect treasures that can be stolen, yet they ignore the treasure that cannot be stolen, the peace within. When your joy is tied to what you own, life will always feel unstable. But when your joy is anchored in peace, you remain steady no matter what changes around you. True happiness is not someday when I have enough, but today, because I have peace. The richest person is not the one who owns the most, but the one who needs the least. The pursuit of possessions often leaves people restless, but the pursuit of peace makes life whole. Imagine having the entire world but no calm in your spirit. Every night you toss and turn. Every day you live in fear of losing what you have. That is not happiness. Happiness is being able to look around at your life, whether small or great, and say, "I am thankful. I am content. I am at peace." From that place of peace flows joy that cannot be shaken, kindness that cannot be exhausted, and strength that cannot be broken. Happiness is not about how much you hold in your hands. It is about how much peace you hold in your heart. And in that peace, you discover the true meaning of joy. Abundance is not an accident. It is the natural result of living with purpose. Many people chase after wealth without direction, running in circles and burning out because they have not yet discovered why they were created. Purpose gives life meaning, focus, and clarity. It is the inner compass that guides decisions and actions, transforming ordinary days into extraordinary opportunities. Abundance always flows toward purpose, because when you are aligned with what you are called to do, your energy, your talents, and even the right people are drawn into your path. Without purpose, abundance is wasted, but with purpose, abundance multiplies. Purpose turns work into fulfillment, challenges into stepping stones, and success into legacy. The question is not only, how can I gain more, but why am I here and how can my life matter? When that answer becomes clear, abundance follows like a river finding its course. I once heard the story of a young man who struggled for years, working job after job but never finding peace. He had money at times, but it always slipped away. Nothing seemed to satisfy him. One day he decided to stop chasing wealth and instead ask himself what he was created for. He had always loved helping children learn, though he thought there was no money in it. Still, he followed his heart and began teaching in a small community. To his surprise, doors began to open. He started tutoring, then building a program, and eventually founded a school that blessed thousands. Not only did his purpose bring joy, but it also brought provision beyond what he imagined. He discovered that abundance was never missing. It was simply waiting for him in the place of his purpose. Purpose gives direction to abundance. Without direction, resources scatter and fade. But with purpose, every blessing has a place and a reason. When you are living for something greater than yourself, your actions gain power, your work gains meaning, and your struggles gain value. Purpose turns obstacles into lessons and failures into foundations. Abundance comes not just to fill your pockets, but to fuel your mission. That is why people who live with purpose often accomplish more with less, while those without purpose waste much even when they have plenty. Purpose organizes abundance, like a vessel that holds water instead of letting it spill away. Once you step into your calling, you will find that provision seems to meet you along the way, because abundance is drawn to purpose the way rivers are drawn to the sea. Living without purpose often creates emptiness, no matter how much one gains. There are people who own much but feel restless because their wealth lacks meaning. They wake up asking, "What is all this for?" Abundance without purpose is like a lamp without light. It exists, but it does not shine. Yet, when abundance meets purpose, every resource becomes a tool for impact. A business becomes more than profit, it becomes service. A home becomes more than shelter, it becomes a sanctuary. A life becomes more than survival, it becomes legacy. Purpose transforms ordinary abundance into extraordinary blessing, not only for you, but for those around you. And in that transformation, true fulfillment is found. Abundance flows where purpose lives, because purpose is the seed that draws nourishment from the soil of life. When you live in alignment with your calling, you will never have to chase after abundance. It will find you. Opportunities, ideas, and connections will begin to align themselves with your vision. Purpose has a magnetic pull. It attracts the right people and the right provision at the right time. It doesn't mean life will always be easy, but it does mean life will always be meaningful. And when you walk in meaning, abundance flows naturally, as rivers flow toward the ocean. The key is not to search endlessly for more, but to discover who you were meant to be. And in that discovery, abundance will overflow into every part of your life. When you look closely at the journey of life, you realize that true wealth is born within. Happiness is anchored in peace, and abundance flows only when you live with purpose. Everything the world chases, money, possessions, recognition, loses its shine without these foundations. But when your heart is filled with gratitude, your soul anchored in peace, and your steps guided by purpose, nothing can hold you back from living a life of fullness. You are not meant to live small or defeated. You are designed for joy, strength, and overflowing abundance that blesses not just you, but everyone connected to you. Your life carries meaning, your story carries power, and your future carries promise. No matter where you are today, remember that your heart is the richest ground. Nurture it with faith, guard it with peace, and direct it with vision. From there, every blessing will flow in its time, and you will rise into the life you were destined to live. Wealthy in spirit, happy in heart, and abundant in purpose. Thank you for listening. May your days overflow with peace and joy, and may God bless you always.